Hi everyone. This video is urgent and I am asking you to immediately send it to everyone you can. You will note that I have never made such a request before, so I therefore hope that you would appreciate the urgency of this request. Earlier today I received an email from a colleague in Saudi Arabia who had received an email from a colleague in France, advising that the legal text for the EU vaccine passports has been drafted and that there is now a plan to try and pass this legislation as quickly as possible. In this regard, there is a meeting of the European Commission scheduled for 11 a.m. tomorrow, March 25th, 2021, and at this meeting, Irish MEPs will be asked to agree to a fast-track examination procedure of the regulation. The purpose of this video today is to ask you to write to Irish members of Parliament to tell them that this legislation represents the most unprecedented interference with our fundamental freedoms and that you do not want them to vote in favour of the fast-track review procedure. In the description box of this video, I've included a link to the draft regulation. For the sake of convenience, I will now advise some of the areas within the regulation that I find most concerning. 1. The most deceptive part of this regulation is that it suggests its aim is to restore the right to travel freely within the EU. In this regard, it states that due to COVID-19, member states have adopted restrictions around travel, which have impacted on the right to free movement. And this regulation, through the creation of a digital green certificate, will restore the right to travel freely. 2. The regulation proposes 3 kinds of passport. A certificate confirming that the holder has received a COVID-19 vaccine. B, a certificate indicating the holder's result and date of COVID-19 test. And C, a certificate confirming that the holder has recovered from a SARS-CoV-2 infection following a positive COVID-19 test. Noting that the certificates will contain an inoperable barcode allowing for the verification of the authenticity, validity and integrity of the certificate. 3. The regulation states that the reason they are opting for several types of passport is to facilitate persons who are not vaccinated or who have not yet had the opportunity to be vaccinated to benefit from this new framework facilitating their free movement. 4. This new law is proposed to be implemented through a regulation as opposed to a directive. The reason for using a regulation is that it is directly effective, meaning that it comes into operation very quickly. Number 5 is the area I am most concerned about. It states that the regulation, if passed, is said to be suspended once the COVID-19 pandemic is overcome. However, the regulation then goes on to state that the application of the regulation should resume if the WHO declare another pandemic due to A, an outbreak of SARS-CoV-2, B, a variant thereof, or C, similar infectious diseases with epidemic potential. And 6, the regulation has not undergone any impact assessment due to its urgency. I would urge you to read the regulation in full. Upon reading the regulation, you will note that the drafters of the legislation have gone to great lengths to stress that the legislation is designed to facilitate free movement rather than restrict it. This legislation is formulated in such a way that it does not recognise the undeniable fact that the fundamental human rights you enjoy do not derive from a piece of paper written by politicians, and it sets a dangerous precedent for the future. I therefore implore upon you to act now. In the description box of this video, you will find letters that can be sent to all Irish MEPs by email. I would urge you to do this today and forward this video to as many people as possible. Thanks for listening.